Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive with us. Today, we're going to be looking at Broadcom, ticker symbol AVGO. They're a tech company that's,
Really interesting.
yeah, and they've been on like a serious growth trajectory. So we're going
Yeah.
to kind of unpack and look into like, are they poised to become like the $8th trillion company in the US?
Yep.
Joining the ranks of like Apple and Google, those huge tech giants.
Yeah, what's fascinating to me is like what's the force propelling this growth? It's not just any trend, it's the explosion of demand for AI tech.
Oh yeah, you're totally right. Like AI is the hot topic these days, and it seems like
Yeah.
Broadcom is in like the perfect position to capitalize on that. Like their infrastructure software revenue just saw like a wild 196% increase. And that's because like this software is essential for building and scaling the systems that make AI possible.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is like you can think of AI as being in like its early adopter phase,
Sure.
right? Like this is the beginning of what's called like a multi-generational upgrade cycle.
Yeah.
So the need for what Broadcom provides is only going to continue growing for quite a while.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so picture this exclusive club, like the Magnificent Seven, right? The current trillion-dollar companies, all titans of the tech world.
Mm.
Broadcom is basically knocking on the door, ready to join the party. Their Q1 2025 earnings report was so strong, their stock jumped almost 17%, hitting a new all-time high. They're getting tantalizingly close to that trillion-dollar market cap.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not just hype, right? This success is built on solid financial performance. They've managed to maintain their margins, their cash flow is better than expected, and their adjusted earnings are up 28% year over year. That last one's important because it looks at their profit after taking out unusual or one-time expenses. So it gives you a clearer picture of their operational efficiency.
Okay, I'm seeing a lot of positive signs here. What really stands out to me is this. Broadcom's free cash flow represents about 39% of its revenue. That's a strong indication that they're managing their money well, right?
Yeah, it is. And what strong free cash flow provides is flexibility. A company can invest that in R&D, make strategic acquisitions, or even return value to shareholders through dividends and buybacks.
Okay, so it's almost like having a healthy savings account,
Mm.
but for a company. And it looks like Broadcom is putting those resources to good use. They've actually been quite optimistic about their future.
Yeah, they have. They're projecting 22% year-over-year growth for Q1 2025, which is on top of the already impressive 34% growth they achieved in the previous year.
Wow, that's 2 years of major growth in a row. What kind of message does that send to people watching the company, you think?
Well, it's a beacon for investors, definitely. This type of guidance shows that the company has a vision for the future, and more importantly, that they're confident in their ability to achieve it. That usually leads to increased investor confidence, which in turn can drive demand for the stock.
Got it. So it's like Broadcom is saying, we're here for the long haul, we're going to keep on growing. And Wall Street seems to agree. Analysts are generally quite bullish on them.
Yeah, a lot of analysts have raised their price targets for Broadcom. Several are saying it could reach like the 240, 250 range, which would be a significant jump from its current price.
Wow. One analyst I read was particularly impressed with Broadcom's projections for their custom AI work. They're predicting a huge $90 billion in custom business by 2027, which would be more than double their 2024 numbers.
Yeah, that's a staggering number, and it highlights the vast potential of AI, particularly for companies like Broadcom. But it's important to remember that these are just predictions, and it's always wise to conduct your own research before making any investment decisions.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's clear that Broadcom is making big waves in the AI sector, and analysts are taking notice. But let's not forget, it's not just AI that's driving this success story. They also have a very solid balance sheet and a dividend policy that makes them quite attractive to investors.
Absolutely. Their shareholder equity has grown. They have low debt leverage, meaning they're not relying heavily on borrowed funds, which is generally seen as a good sign of financial health. And they just announced an 11% increase in their dividend. This all makes Broadcom potentially attractive to long-term investors.
Okay, so we're looking at strong growth potential, strong financial foundation, and a shareholder-friendly approach. That's a powerful combination for anyone considering an investment.
Yeah, it paints a picture of a company that's firing on all cylinders. You know, it's interesting to think about how Broadcom's success could shape the broader tech industry. Like their focus on custom AI work could potentially create a wave of innovation and competition, as others try to follow their lead.
Totally. Like it's like they're setting a new standard for AI. If other companies want to compete in this space, they might need to start thinking about custom solutions too. That could lead to like some really exciting developments in the field.
Precisely.
Hmm.
And ultimately, this competition could be good for everyone, especially consumers. as companies strive to develop even more advanced AI solutions that are also affordable. We could see some incredible advancements and benefits.
Yeah, okay. So it's like potentially a win-win for everyone. More innovation, better products, and even lower prices. Sounds pretty good to me, but
Hold on a second. We've been focusing a lot on the positives. Are there any risks or challenges that Broadcom might encounter on this path to potentially becoming a trillion-dollar company?
that's a great question. While Broadcom is currently in a very strong position, there are always factors to consider, especially in the tech industry. It's known for being unpredictable. New competitors could appear seemingly out of nowhere
Hmm.
and disrupt the market.
Yeah, you mean some innovative startup with a brand new AI technology that changes everything.
Exactly. And remember, AI is still evolving rapidly. There's no guarantee that Broadcom's current approach will remain dominant in the long run. They need to stay flexible and adapt to new trends and technologies as they emerge. So it's like they're running a marathon, not a sprint. They have to pace themselves, conserve their energy, and be prepared for unexpected obstacles along the way.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. And we can't forget about the overall economic environment. Things like a global recession or a downturn in the tech sector specifically could definitely impact Broadcom's growth.
Oh, for sure. Those external factors are always a risk for any company. But it seems like Broadcom has built a pretty solid foundation to withstand some of those economic storms. They've been through challenging times before and come out stronger on the other side.
Yeah, they have. And their diversified product portfolio and strong financial management should provide some resilience in the face of those uncertainties.
Okay. Plus, they have a strong leadership team with a track record of successful acquisitions and navigating changing market conditions.
Right. The VMware acquisition was a major move for Broadcom, expanding their offerings and strengthening their position in the enterprise software market. It'll be interesting to see what strategic decisions they make next.
Yeah, for sure. Anyone who's followed Broadcom's journey knows they're not afraid to make bold moves and take calculated risks.
And that adaptability is essential in a fast-paced industry like tech. They need to be willing to pivot and adjust their strategies as needed to stay ahead of the curve.
Okay, so even though there are some potential challenges, it seems like Broadcom is a company with a lot of momentum. They have the growth potential, the financial strength, and the leadership to potentially reach that trillion-dollar mark. It wouldn't surprise me if they got there.
Yeah. And their journey is potentially full of valuable lessons. For other companies aiming for similar success, they've really made smart choices and capitalized on key opportunities in the market.
Totally. It's like a masterclass in building a tech powerhouse. What do you think are some of the biggest takeaways from Broadcom's story so far? What can other companies or even individual investors learn from their success?
Well, I think one of the most important lessons is the ability to identify and seize emerging trends early on. Broadcom saw the potential of AI when it was still relatively nascent and made strategic decisions to position themselves to benefit from its growth. They were ahead of the curve, and it's paying off now.
Yeah. They were willing to go all in on AI when others were still hesitant. And that early bet is a big reason for their success today. What else stands out to you?
Another crucial takeaway is the importance of strong financial management, which we touched on earlier, consistently maintaining healthy margins, and generating strong cash flow has given Broadcom the resources to invest in growth opportunities and weather those economic uncertainties that we talked about. They're not just growing fast, they're growing responsibly and sustainably.
Yeah, like building a solid foundation for a skyscraper. You need that stability to support the growth and height.
Exactly. And finally, I think Broadcom's story highlights the importance of leadership that's both visionary and adaptable. Their management team has shown a willingness to make bold decisions, like acquiring VMware. But they've also been able to adapt and adjust their strategies as needed.
Yeah. They're not afraid to take risks, but they're not reckless either. It's a tricky balance to strike, but they seem to have figured it out.
Yeah, and that combination of factors is what's driven Broadcom to the forefront of the tech industry. They've been strategic forward thinking and willing to adapt and evolve. That's a recipe for success in any industry, but especially in tech.
Yeah, totally. It's been fascinating to unpack their journey so far. It'll be exciting to see what they do next. Will they become the eighth trillion-dollar company? Only time will tell. But it's definitely going to be an interesting ride to watch.
Absolutely. And it will be intriguing to see how their success and their focus on custom AI work influences the future of the tech landscape. They're pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI, and that's going to have ripple effects throughout the entire industry.
It's like they've thrown down the gauntlet. Now the rest of the industry has to respond and step up their game. It's going to be interesting to see who rises to the challenge and what innovations come out of this competition.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some amazing advancements in AI in the coming years, and Broadcom is definitely going to be a major player in that evolution. They're a company to watch for sure.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today. Let's take a moment to recap the key points for our listener and really drive home what makes Broadcom such a compelling company to watch. What are your final thoughts?
Well, Broadcom is definitely a company on the move.
Yeah.
From their impressive growth fueled by AI to their rock-solid financials and that ambitious outlook for the future. They're a force to be reckoned with in the tech world.
Totally. It seems like they're really on that trajectory towards becoming a trillion-dollar company. What's interesting to me is how their success, particularly their focus on this custom AI approach, could impact the broader tech landscape. It feels like they're pioneering a new era of specialized AI solutions, moving away from that one-size-fits-all model.
Yeah, it does raise a lot of interesting questions. Like, imagine a world where AI is tailored not just to industries, but to specific tasks or even down to individual needs. The potential for increased efficiency, productivity, and innovation across different sectors is massive.
Right. But of course, with any major technological advancement, there are always potential downsides to consider. Things like concerns about data privacy, algorithmic bias, or the impact on jobs. Those are important considerations as AI becomes more pervasive and powerful. It's kind of a double-edged sword, isn't it?
It is. As AI continues to evolve, it becomes crucial to have open dialogues about these ethical and societal implications. We need to ensure that its development and deployment benefits society as a whole, not just a select few.
Yeah, it makes you think. As Broadcom pushes the boundaries of AI, their journey could be a microcosm of this larger conversation we need to have. Well, the responsible development of technology. They're kind of a case study in how to build a tech powerhouse,
Yeah.
but also a reminder of the responsibility that comes with that power.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. Broadcom's story highlights the importance of vision strategy and a willingness to embrace the future, even when there are uncertainties. Their rise to prominence offers valuable insights for other companies, investors, and really anyone interested in the future of technology.
Totally. So for our listener, as you continue to explore the world of tech and innovation, keep Broadcom's story in mind. It's a reminder that with bold decisions, strategic planning, and a bit of adaptability, seemingly anything is possible. Who knows, maybe one day we'll be doing a deep dive on the ninth trillion-dollar company.
Yeah, the possibilities are.
Analysts.
And on that note, it looks like we've reached the end of our deep dive into Broadcom. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next one.